for us to build a Necramech. Now, before we get this started, I want to go through a few things that I think everybody should know beforehand. I will do this video from as if, oh, I've just started Warframe. How do I get one of these weird Necramech things? Okay, so first off, you need to have the quest called Heart of Deimos complete. If you come into your quest log right here, you're going to see this big red thing. In addition to that, you are also going to need to have access to your operator to actually even use it. And so to unlock the operator, you are going to need to progress until at least the second dream. We are all the way up to, as you can see right here, we're up to sacrifice, as you can see, for the series. And if you guys want a step-by-step on how to get all of this done, I'll make sure there's a linked comment down below. We progressed all the way up to the sacrifice right now, and so we're pretty far into the game. Gear-wise, you are going to want a frame that is A, survivable, and B, can either output a ton of damage or has good crowd control. I'm taking Nova because I think it has a combination of all of those things. I like bringing it along for a lot of things. And in addition to that, it also has a dash aura slot. This is important because you should absolutely be bringing corrosive protection. Most of the protection that enemies are getting down here is from armor, and reducing that is going to be important. This brings me to the main weapon that we're using as well, which is Ignis, which is set up to give me heat and corrosive procs, which also strip armor down. This means that even if I'm underpowered, but in a squad, I will be giving other people an advantage whenever it is they are attacking. But I'm obviously going to be doing this solo so you guys can see exactly how this works. Once you have Heart of Deimos complete, you have armor stripping capabilities and are ready to begin farming it up. You want to make sure that you go into your inbox and just double check that Father has messaged you. You'll get this message after completing the Heart of Deimos, and now we can start getting the parts that we need to build the Voidrig. Now note that I'm only going to go over the actual Necramech parts here. I don't feel like I need to spend this video teaching you how to mine and fish, which is where the rest of this comes from. I may do an individual video for that. So if you guys want a how to mine video, maybe I'll do that. But because it's so generic across all of the different open world areas, I've decided that mainly we're just going to go for that. I am going to show obviously how to open the vault as well, so you get extra loot out of this, because that is a pretty good way to get some of those extra materials anyway. As you might have guessed, we're going to make our way down to the Necrolisk, and you're going to need to make your way over to Mother. Come into bounties, and you're going to notice at the bottom we have the isolation vaults. These have the potential to drop you the parts that we want as mission rewards, and in addition to that, there is an enemy that's going to appear as a part of this that also has a chance to drop it. This means if you're coming in as a squad, bringing along a Necros is going to be a good idea because that will work to desecrate it. I'm unsure about Cora. I haven't tried Cora yet, so something just worth noting. You can also see that the Necramech mods drop as part of the rewards here as well. So basically, you want to be running these quite a lot until you get a good selection of the mods so that you can mod it out as you please. So for the purpose of this video, we're going to go with the Isolation Vault Tier 1. As with everything else, you have to do Tier 1 to unlock Tier 2, and you have to have done Tier 2 to unlock Tier 3. The build that I'm using right now could do any of these tiers, so it really isn't too bad. We're going to go with Tier 1 right now. So into the Cambion Drift we go to start farming our first Necramech. So part 1, mega simple. We just fly around and we're just finding the residue we need to create some bait. So you'll see we got basically this stuff here, residue. Cool thing is I'm pretty sure we get to keep it as well. So this is a pretty nice way of just collecting yourself some resources as we're going around. I highly recommend like destroying things like the resource nodes as you're going around as well, just because you might as well have some extra stuff. And we're just going to go around all of these little yellow parts. Obviously sometimes these can be red instead of blue so that we can get our bait ready. We got our bit of bait, so we're just going to go on over to the next place that it's pointing us towards, the activate bait station. This is where having crowd control is going to be good, or like I say, you need to either have that or immense damage, because there are going to be a lot of enemies and we have to defend this. This is basically a 90-second defense, really doesn't take too long. So we're just going to go ahead and annihilate all of the enemies that come towards our little position here. All right then, so once that's done, let's go ahead, grab the bait that we've just made so that we can move to the next part. Usually it's not too far away. I don't know what happens if you have an alternate fire on your weapon already. All you need to do is press the alt fire button, and that's going to throw the bait at the little sphincter thing. We're going to have like a mini survival next. Of course, I'm like kind of running past all of the little resource things that you can grab. So make sure you guys are grabbing those because it is going to be good for you. I don't know if I'm going to fully build it on my brand new account. I guess we'll see. We'll see how long it takes me to get everything done. It takes a while. So just make sure you break everything. There's all sorts of resources down here you're going to be finding useful, especially when it comes to increasing your standing with the Cambion Drift family, because with a lot of them, you can use a lot of these materials and stuff to basically purchase standing. So really kind of handy that we can basically just handle everything in one go here. All right, so 1.5 minutes later, sphincter opens. Let's head into, well, let's assume it's a throat of some kind. We just progressed into the isolation vault. This is where we're going to see the Necramech. So it is affected by the slow, and we're just going to pile on. Well, I would pile on loads of stuff, but there's a Xmas there getting in the way. So you'll see that it drops the Matrix. That's actually what you need to rank up Lloyd's faction. So if you want to buy more Necramech parts, weapons, extra stuff, that's what that's for. So pretty good, actually, quite effective in my opinion, how they've actually structured this one. Now the next thing that we need to do, so you could extract right now, but if you want to get extra rewards, and I do recommend doing this, you want to check down all these little tunnels, just like I may have gotten unlucky there. So you want to check down the tunnels, and we're looking for the actual vault. So you see where it says bonus reactivate crystal at the vault? That's what we're looking for right now, okay? So I'm going to skip forward to that. Okay, a few minutes of looking, and I found it. This is the tile we're looking for right here. Get some slow on the go because I don't want to get interrupted. So we need to use the operator to fire at this. This is going to cause Lloyd to do some traveling around. So now we need to protect him as he goes and activates all of these generators you can see up on the side. It's not too difficult, especially if, like I say, you've got some good crowd control going on, so it slows all the enemies down so they can't really attack him. Makes it mega simple, in my opinion. I see a lot of people bringing Messer. Messer's great for damage, but it's not very, but I find Messer's not really very mobile, and Messer's like fine with defense against range attacks, but you're not really like taking attacks from range, so it's fine enough choice. Nova makes this way more soloable though. Okay, so once he's got all of his codes, again, I'm gonna make sure everything's all slowed down. I don't want stuff sneaking up on me. He's gonna show some codes, so make sure that you look at what this is. So here we've got face, hole, hourglass, and the third one, right? So we've got face, diagonal hole, hourglass, and that one. Head on in, break everything as you go on through. Go break all this stuff. This is where you're going to get all the best rewards from. You get all sorts of stuff down here. Like, if you don't want to do any of the fishing and stuff, rewards-wise, right? So this is where biotic filters, and we're going to get the spinal cores. We're also getting some of the stuff that you would normally mine as well. So if you don't want to do any mining and fishing and stuff, you can just keep on repeating this. I don't know if this is probably not faster, but it's definitely a method that you can use. Either way, that is the end of the vault. So we're just going to extract on out. Again, so we've got, like, the basic parts of the Necramech coming in. The next thing that I feel like I should probably show you, being as this is a guide, is let's fast travel to Lloyd. This is where you're going to find all of the different kind of weapons and extra stuff that we can get for the Necramech, and is basically going to allow you to get the Cortez, which is pretty strong, and all this other stuff. We are going to have to rank this up as if it is a standard syndicate, so you can't do it all in one go, unfortunately. This all works kind of basically exactly the same as everywhere else. Obviously, I haven't really covered the open world areas yet in the series, but when you kind of look at this, we have trade the mattresses. So the things that we were getting from the big boys down there, we are now able to use to rank up. In particular, when you do the tier 3 one, you'll get quite a few of these. So you can actually rank this up really quickly, which is rather nice. The best thing is you can bank them. So if you've got like 2 hours, you can do this for 2 hours. It's like, what, 5 minutes a run. So you get loads of it done. And then just log in for a couple of minutes and just deliver these in to keep yourself ranking up. That's fine. It's not really going to be an issue. It's a little bit more difficult though to rank up because sometimes he wants things like this. So we're going to have to go and find this kind of stuff. This is from like in the actual family, so we're going to have to make sure we're ranking those up, which is probably the tougher part. We have to do some favors for father and this kind of thing. But in terms of, you know, where all the stuff is, rank this guy up, and then you are able to get an extra Voidrig if you want to, or one of the other cool things is you can actually use your standing to buy the parts. So let's say you get 3 of them and you're missing 1 and you just can't get, say, the weapon to drop. You can just go ahead and purchase it with standing for 2,000. It's really easy, realistically. Effectively, once you've ranked him up, you can guarantee whichever one you want, because that means you can get any 2 of these, one of those mattresses, which is real good. And you're also going to get all of the mods down here as well. So lots of cool stuff. This is where you're going to want to come to get your Necramech leveled up. Again, so you spent some time and you have built up your Necramech. I'm obviously going to do a, here's what I built earlier on you. All you need to do now to be able to use it, so if you come into your loadout, you want to come all the way to this side, which is basically vehicles at this point, and then come down to the bottom and you have your Necramech down here. I've just formed mine. Something to know is each time you form these, they can actually go 2 levels higher. So eventually you are going to want to get 5 different formers on this so that you can get to level 40. So that's going to give you more affinity each time you do that and just kind of up its stats and this kind of thing. So there's a lot of work to do on these to get them actually like completely maxed out. I have the Mortal on there, which was the basic weapon, and the Acrobrex, which is the cannons for its 4th ability, which is pretty powerful. That's where you're going to put it. And to use it in a mission, you need to put it in your gear wheel. Okay, so if I remove this, I know it's probably suck eggs, but just so you can see, right? You kind of come up here and then you want to come on down until you get to your Necramech. And now when you are in a mission that allows the Necramech to be used, you can go ahead and summon it. A good one, I think. I mean, any of the open worlds works, but there are some nodes as well, such as you can actually summon it on these 2 missions in Lua. So if you want to farm, I think it's Varuna that drops in the Uvarium. We haven't gone over that yet. You can actually get sentient cores here as well. So if you want to start getting those ready for the Quills faction, that's not a bad thing to do whilst you're getting that Warframe. It's real kind of like productive, realistically. I might even suggest that. But just to kind of show you guys how this looks, let's just go into a open world instance so I can show you this. Okay, so once you're in a place where you can open it, it's just literally bring Gearwood out. That's going to get it out. And to actually get in, you're going to need to go ahead and transfer into it using your operator. It now operates, I guess, differently to most things. Shoot is where you think it'd be. Aiming doesn't really do very much for us. Your powers work as if they were powers, and you can go ahead and slide around. Either way, I hope that helps you out. I hope you enjoy using your Necramech as you go ahead and farm it up, and I will catch you all in the next video. I think next up, I'm probably going to have to do progressing the Cambrian Drift area, because otherwise people are not going to be able to rank up. And so if you are wanting that, if you're thinking, oh, why didn't you explain that? Well, I'll do that as a separate video for you guys shortly after this. Catch you all again very soon.